I might be a little bit jealous of our location now this weekend, I think, Bobby.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of these folks are getting rocked by that winter storm.
Ooh, that looks pretty
Although,
rough.
although down here in Florida, we've been dealing with our own cold wave. A couple of
I
days this
know.
week, it was in the 30s, and I was like, "Where the heck am I?"
I
But
know.
80 again today, so that's why we're here.
I even had to double check because Saturday we're supposed to go listen to some music, and I was watching the rest of the country, and I said, "Are we sure it's going to be really warm here? Are we sure we're not going to get any of that?" And it looks like we're going to miss it. So I'm okay with that.
All right, hey guys, while we're waiting to get started, there's a QR code in the bottom right of the screen. If you could scan that for me, it's a one question survey that just helps me understand kind of where everyone's at in terms of real estate marketing, what people like us need help with. It helps us do a much better job on our end with Locate, our marketing company for real estate agents. So just take that, scan that, put in answer the one question for me. That would be really helpful before we get started.
Excellent. All right. Well, we are at top of the hour, so we are going to go ahead and get started right on time. Just as a reminder, I will be offering Holly, the 1 Hour Coach, two classes a month in 2026. And I really haven't done this in the past. I do a ton of classes, but it's typically I'm being hired. And really haven't done anything from my perspective as just the 1 hour coach, where I just get to pick whatever I want, whatever I feel like sharing, whatever's relevant, whatever seems to be a hot topic or a room divider. Those are always fun. I love the room dividers. And then I'm going to have guest speakers on as well. The way I'm structuring it this year for 2026 is one course will always be free. It will be the same Zoom link, and you will just hop in at the time of the announced call. There's no registration. So look for those free ones because everybody loves free. And then there's going to be some content that I'm going to be bringing that I may have to actually invest myself in either material or the actual speaker or whatever. So there'll be a small fee for one. So in January, we decided, hey, let's just start the year out free, right? Because free is great. I like free. Everybody likes free. So both of my courses this month have been free. The first one I did was old school, top 100, and how to build out your top 100 system going old school. So I actually did it with a spreadsheet, and to my surprise, people loved it. They're like, thank God, no technology. So if you would like that, you can always email me. It's holly at the1hourcoach.com, or you can also find it on my business page. I have posted the recording. So on that note, I do want to just make a quick announcement before I announce my speaker for today. My class, I'm going to have two classes in February, one on the 5th and one on the 18th. Bobby will be coming back on the 18th. We're going to talk a little bit more about what that course is going to entail. Both of these will be at noon. So moving forward, all of my courses for 2026 will be noon Eastern time. So a little bit easy to keep there, but the dates are going to change each month. I will be posting these on my Facebook page. So, welcome to the second edition of January. And I'm bringing in, and I'm thrilled to have with me today, Bobby Kerr, who runs a company called Locate My Business. And Bobby and I got connected through a mutual friend, a mutual colleague. He has a really good talent and skill, and he knew my passion for websites and Bold Trail. So it was kind of a natural fit for us just to get connected and talk about his expertise and then also what's coming down the pike at a much faster rate than what was happening in 1995 when the internet came to is AI. And we don't have 5 and 6 years to kind of hang out and figure out, is this AI thing really anything at all? It is evolving daily. So every day it's changing. And I think we owe it to ourselves to be aware of how these things are impacting not only how we're found, but our businesses as a whole. So I'm really excited to have Bobby with me today to give you a presentation on some things that he's been able to do. He's going to give you some tips at the end of today, things that you can go ahead and do on your own to take action. But he does provide a very valuable service. And I've gone down the road with his service, and it has been very eye-opening for me. And it's been fun. It's been a fun experience. So, with no further ado, today I'm going to go ahead and turn it right on over to Bobby Kerr. So, thank you for joining us today and take it away, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you, Holly. Well, gosh, by that introduction of what's coming down the pike, you might be able to teach this class soon as well. So I appreciate everybody being part of this today. Holly and I work very closely. And so this is great. We've got a great group, even a few more than what I was anticipating. So thanks for your time today. I also see some people on this call, again, that I know personally and that I've helped with this kind of stuff. So I'm glad you guys are tuning in. If everyone has already scanned that QR code, I'm going to go ahead and jump on to the first slide of the day to kind of give some background here. So I always like to start out with a little bit of schema, so to speak, of what makes me an authority in this space for AI search and Google. And number one, for those of you that know me, know that I'm very, very passionate about this. This is something I've been teaching and been working on a very long time. And so to be able to share it with you is very exciting for me and Holly. And so, number one, what makes me an authority in the space is I have built a lot of real estate based businesses and I've leaned heavily on the back of Google Business Profile. And that's the organic side of it, not paid ads or paid for leads. This is organic growth through Google Business Profile. You can see these 5 companies alone, I've either started and owned myself, or I've been a leader as a COO or some type of executive with this company. So you can see a mortgage brokerage with over 400 5-star reviews, a home inspection company with over 800. Locate My Business, this company today is the real estate marketing business, homeowners insurance for property and casualty, as well as a real estate team in the Kansas City market. So these are just a great example of where we want your business to be in terms of reviews and strength with Google Business Profile. Over 1,800 reviews. I'm a certified Google marketing expert. In 2023, got that certification, completed their 240-hour coursework, as well as last year being named Google Products Expert in 2025. So just a little bit of background on me, and I'm not just some guy who makes this stuff up. I kind of know what I'm talking about today. So we're going to get going right away. I like to start this webinar with what I call the dark house realtor metaphor. And by the way, Holly, if you're going to moderate or do anything, if there's anything in the chat, if you could just kind of stop me, just interrupt me at any time, I'm happy to stop and answer questions. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Feel free to add in any clarifications, and I will absolutely do that. And we will take Q&A time permitting at the end as well. Thank you.
Very good. All right. So the dark house realtor metaphor. So I want everyone to imagine listing a beautiful house, maybe something like this. It's gorgeous. You love it. It's a great listing. But every showing must happen at night and all of the lights must remain turned off during those showings. All right. That's the dark house realtor metaphor. The house exists. We know it's there. Buyers consistently drive by and the house might even be gorgeous, but buyers cannot see the value. So they don't stop. They won't walk in. They will not see this house because the house is not visible. It's there. It's just not visible. That is your online presence when A, you have fewer than 25 Google reviews. B, your realtor website uses generic templated copy, which if you're Berkshire Hathaway, EXP, Remax, most Bold Trail websites that everyone like that is using, they're templated. So like the hundreds of thousands of agents across the country that are part of those brokerages, those websites are just templates and they're kind of copy and paste. And so those are generic. It does not help your online presence unless they're optimized. There's no clear value proposition on your website or your Google business profile, meaning it doesn't have a ton of local content. And lastly, your Google business profile isn't fully optimized. Most agents just kind of set it and forget it. We'll give examples. But when you're kind of following these steps, you're the dark house, right? You have a business, it might be great. You might do a ton of business, but again, if AI and Google search can't see the lights on for your business, then they're going to show someone else's house, quote unquote, or their business instead of yours. So a good metaphor to start us off today. So the
And
big shift,
can I just interject one
please.
quick thing? So I don't want everybody to kind of panic if you have a Bold Trail website and you're like, geez, I have a website, I've done all this, and now it's for nothing. So please don't be alarmed. But what he's saying is correct because, and I'll be happy to have these conversations offline. You can absolutely optimize your Bold Trail website, but there are steps that absolutely need to also be taken. So don't feel like, oh, I did all this and it's for nothing. You may already be optimized, and there are steps you absolutely can take. So I just want to make sure that everyone didn't panic at that moment. If you happen to have Vultro website, you can still optimize that and it can still be a powerhouse for you. So just wanted
Yep.
to bring that up.
Yep.
So,
Thank you. And I'll
thank you.
talk about some of
Uh-huh.
the specifics about that,
Yeah.
how to optimize that today. All right. So the big shift, we all know what's coming. Hopefully here, we can even show it. Most people have their camera on. How many people here utilize AI in some capacity for their business? ChatGPT, Grok, Google Gemini, most people, right? So whether it's a younger generation or anybody, any generation, they're mostly using ChatGPT now or something, some kind of AI tool to help with their business. And searchers who don't have businesses are utilizing those AI tools instead of traditional Google or Yahoo or Bing searches. Okay. Right. Well, why are they doing that? Well, AI tools like these examples that I just gave, they answer directly. Right. So they're not giving 7, 10, 100 pages of results that you have to sift through. So AI tools answer directly. They're giving like one or two answers, very, very, very specific. And people, users like that. I'm sure everyone here feels the same. And voice assistants, Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, all these AI tools, they're relying on the back and the structured data built on the back of Google Business Profile. So this is kind of the interweaving of Google Business as well as these AI search tools. They are not in this independent individual silo arena. They are very much intertwined. And so that's very much the theme of what we're going to talk about today. And as a Google business expert, it's really important for me to help share these tips and tricks. So what we know now, in January 2024, so 2 years ago, AI search was barely 1% of all internet search usage. I'm sure, I know I caught wind of ChatGPT and started using it in the winter of, or the January, February of 2022. So really in the early days. And so I've seen a lot of growth. But in January 2024, AI search was barely 1% of all internet search usage. Okay. Well, in June of 2024, so barely 6 months later, about 2.5% of desktop browser search traffic went to AI tools, mostly ChatGPT at that time. So in 6 months, it more than doubled. As of December 2025, last month, AI search in place of traditional search has risen to almost 7%. Okay. We're seeing these doubling scale usage like all the time. So you're asking, okay, what kind of growth is that? Well, AI search has exploded 362% in less than 2 years. So to kind of pull back in with Google stuff, if your Google business profile is not optimized, then your AI, okay, AI is already recommending other agents instead of you. That doesn't mean, again, no scared tactics here. It's never too late to get better, right? We're always lifelong learners here. But this is just a really good way to try to understand and frame the mindset that AI is coming. Like Holly said in the very beginning, it's coming down the pike faster than anything we've ever experienced. This is the industrial revolution of the 21st century. And as business owners, especially real estate professionals, all of these tips and tricks is what it's going to take to make sure that you become visible over the next several months and years, because AI is not slowing down. In fact, here's a great projection of where we're going in 2026 and over the next 10 years, really. So you see just this simple graph here on the bottom axis, we see the years 25, 26, 27, 30, and 35, and the percentage of AI search tools versus traditional search tools. So we can see here in 2025, we were at about 6% of all internet usage was AI tools. In 2026, we are expected to be at 13%, excuse me. Again, doubling in 2027, by in the next 5 years, doubling by 2030, and it's projected by 2035, in the next 9, 10 years, that 85% of all search usage is basically going to be AI search. Okay, no more traditional search as what we grew up with in the 90s and the 2000s. It's here, it's all AI. Again, not a scare tactic, just making sure everyone understands that if we're late to the game, that's okay, but we want to make sure that we continuously grow to improve our business. So I always use this metaphor. We don't want to be like this guy. If you are not paying attention to this kind of stuff, which everyone on this call is obviously paying attention to this kind of stuff, but if you're not, if your colleagues are not, your friends, other people you know in this business, they're going to be ghosts. They will not be found. It is just quite simple. that if they're not paying attention to Google Business Profile and if they are not paying attention to AI, they're going to be ghosts. So I'm glad everyone's on this call today because I don't think anybody's going to end up like that. And not to mention, and we're not going to talk about it today, but in the last 30 days, Google has made an announcement that they are entering into the MLS portal wars, so to speak. So Google, and hopefully some of you have read that, but Google in 3 markets now, Austin, Texas, and a couple others I can't remember off the top of my head, they've already entered into the MLS game. So we have to think that as Google continues to invest in their platform, especially in the real estate side of things, that as they grow and grow into more markets for the MLS stuff, if we, the agents, have much stronger Google presence, you have to think that it's going to be beneficial. So I'm not willing to take the risk and not optimize my business and not, I want to help everybody. So I would say this is the stuff we need to be paying attention to right now so we don't end up like ghosts and invisible to the rest of the market. So some schema here, some important terms. Most of us have probably heard of SEO. Okay, the new one is AEO. This is answer engine optimization. What it means is basically when someone asks an AI tool a question, will it confidently name you? We want to make sure that it's you. So just like you want your listing at the top of MLS results, you want your Google Business Profile, your website, your reviews to show up first when clients are asking AI and search engines for the type of business that you offer. So we want to be the business that AI tools recommend when someone asks a question. Important term number 2, we call it the NAP, the NAP. And for those of us on the call that have worked with me and known me for years, you're very familiar with this term. What it means is that your NAP, your NAP, your name, address, phone number, and your website, of course, that they are consistent. We want your name, address, phone to be consistent across all platforms wherever your business is. So if your NAP matches across your Google Business Profile, your website, your Zillow, Realtor.com, Facebook, Yelp, Better Business Bureau, everything, all these different websites, then Google sees your business as more trustworthy than other businesses. So as an example, okay, if my business, Locate My Business, real estate marketing agency, if it's on Google Business that way, but on Yelp as Locate My Business only, and then on Better Business Bureau, it's just Locate. You get the example. It's the same company, but 3 different listings in terms of the name. Then Google kind of views me and the AI search tools view me as 3 different businesses. So it's really important to stay consistent. Yes, Holly.
And just to bring a little bit of context to this, when I've gone through this process with Bobby, working directly with him in my verification process, because I don't have a business to go to. So I work strictly from home. I have no signage here at all. So I actually had to do a interview call with Google. So I got on the phone, we did a video share screen. It was really fascinating. It was really interesting. But she had me change my business name because the business card that I was trying to supply did not match how we had set up the Google business profile. So when he's talking about this name, address, phone, a really good tactic and strategy that you can do on your own would be to Google your name and look at all the different ways that you are showing up yourself, not only in the AI search tools, but when you Google yourself. So it's a really handy exercise. And I'm kind of cataloging the journey that I've been going down with Bobby to be able to share to y'all in the future. But it's been really fun. So
Yeah.
continue
Thank
on.
you.
Sorry.
I see
Mhm.
there was a question I saw pop
Yep.
up in the corner. It said, like, what if I don't have a business address? We have another webinar. We talk really specifically about those things on the 8 techniques of how to optimize a profile. But to quickly answer that question, it's okay if you don't have a business address. In fact, Holly's profile, she doesn't have a business address. So the idea is you wouldn't want to have your business profile on Google say no address, but then an address listed on other platforms. And so we just want to be consistent across the board. It doesn't really matter. It does matter, excuse me. I will say when you do have a physical address, it's important for Google to know that because as we all know, like, well, maybe not all of us know, but Google Business Profile is ran through Google Maps now. A couple of summers ago, they changed it. It used to be a standalone app called Google My Business. I see some head shaking. Yes. Now it's called, and now we just run Google Maps, and that's how you manage your business profile. So since it all is through maps, Google has centered the business profile platform to be all around local search. So Google wants to show your business to local searchers around your business territory, so to speak, your service areas. So if you don't have kind of a centered address for them to leverage, then they basically just kind of have to guess. And so I know some of us on our business profiles, if we don't have an address, you might just list, the cities that you serve. That's better than nothing. But when we do have a physical address, then Google tends to be a little more pointed in how they bring people to your business. So I don't want to get too off track, but that is kind of the um, what's happening with Google these days. And see another question, two states. Again, if it's like Missouri and Kansas as an example, that's like on the state line. So it's really easy to cover two states. If you have two different territories and two farther in parts of the states, then you might want to have two business profiles. Okay, I'm gonna keep going here. Another important term to know, and as we talk about today, citations. I've said this already. A citation is basically where your name, address, phone, website is listed. It's just your business platform, your business profile listed on a different platform. So again, Yelp would be a citation. Your Facebook business page would be a citation. Your Google business profile, a citation. Your Better Business Bureau profile is a citation. So it matters because again, we want all of these citations, like what we've been talking about, to match up consistently. And again, in the other webinar that we do, the 8 techniques, we really get down into the nitty gritty of this. And we want these citations, to Holly's point, we want them to be consistent character for character. Okay. I mean that literally. So we want your business name to match word for word, letter for letter, capitalization to capitalization, punctuation to punctuation on all of your different platforms. Okay. So that's citations. So jumping in now, getting a little more in depth. Where do these AI search tools pull data from, especially Google Gemini? And it's Google Gemini is, if anybody's paying attention in the news, Google is leaning heavily into their Gemini program and getting plugged into different companies. And so we really want to pay attention. ChatGPT was first to the market. So most people I use ChatGPT a ton in a lot of different parts of my business to automate things. But Google Gemini is really picking up the pace in terms of competing with OpenAI, which is ChatGPT. So these are kind of where these search tools pull data from. And number one, guys, is Google Business Profile. I'm going to beat a dead horse here. It is the single most influential data set shaping how local businesses are found through search, whether it's traditional Google search or maps or other AI search tools. So number one, we always start with Google Business Profile. It's going to be Bing Places, which is Microsoft's version of Google Business. Microsoft, we've got your website, of course, all these other citations that are specific to real estate agents, realtor.com, Redfin, Homes, etc. Yelp, Nextdoor, Apple Maps, Apple Business Connect. Okay, so all of these are kind of the ensuite, so to speak, of where these AI search tools are finding your business. All the more importance to go back to what we were just saying about citations. If you're not consistent across all these different websites and all these different platforms, then Google might start looking at your business as 10 different businesses, which means you have low authority with Google. Therefore, they're going to say, yeah, we don't really know who to show in a search result because, this one might be the right one, this one might be the right one, but when they're all consistent, Google basically has more confidence in your business. Okay. So, how is it weighted in terms of AI search tools? Number one, Google Business Profile. It's about 45% of the weighted value. And how strong is it? And how does it match up with the searcher's intent, geographically speaking, which we talked about with the address. Well, that's really, really helpful. Number two is reviews. And actually, I've switched up some of these percentages, and I've got this one wrong, I believe. They switched up the percentages a little bit. So we're sitting more at about 25% reviews. And we like reviews, guys, to be loaded with keywords and geographic places. So I'll show you an example of what I mean by that. But having strong reviews, having a lot of 5-star reviews across multiple platforms, but especially Google is going to be the most important. Here we go. There's the correct percentages. Number three, citations. We've just talked about that, and your NAP consistency. So if you don't have a lot of citations, then you're already getting dinged by 15 or 20%, right? So no matter what, everyone can do this today. You can create a Google business profile for free. You can create your Zillow profile, realtor.com, Bing, etc. We just want you to be on all these platforms. But truth be told, there's about 2,000 possible citations to have. And so I don't expect everyone to go out and do that. It'd be, you wouldn't be able to do it organically one by one, but there are tools to be able to do it kind of in bulk. But definitely be on the main ones like Zillow, Realtor, Bing, Apple, Google, etc. And then lastly, your website strength. And so we've previewed this a little bit with the talk about Bold Trail, and we'll talk more in specifics a little bit. But all of these things combined are how these AI search tools start to show your business. You've got to be strong in all of these. This is not, I'm going to have a really strong business profile, but I'm not going to get reviews consistently. I might get reviews consistently, but I have a weak website. You can't do that. It's not a mixed bag, grab bag. We've got to be strong in all of these different arenas. Otherwise, AI search tools and Google are basically going to be confused and they won't show us as often. So we know this now. Again, beating the dead horse, Google Business Profile is still king. It's a top source for AI search tools. We want to make sure that we're consistently posting to our Google Business Profile. In our other webinar, the 8 techniques, we talk a lot about this, but I'm going to say this. This is probably be the only time I say it in this webinar, but your Google Business Profile, everyone, is an active social media platform. Okay. Most people do not understand this, especially real estate agents. They don't treat their Google business profile as a social media platform. So, for instance, I see my really good friend here and my neighbor in Kansas City, Mark Gipple, on this call today. Mark is really, really good at social media. Okay. He posts, he does creative videos, he brings in vendors to partner with. He's really, really good at this stuff. But if he only does it on Facebook and he only does it on Instagram and he doesn't put the same content on his Google business profile, then he's basically telling Google that his business is dead. So again, we want reviews. We want an optimized profile. We want to post consistently on the Google business profile as if it was another Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. We want consistent reviews, not just 60 reviews in 1 week and then no reviews coming in after that. We want to get them consistently, and we want to add things to our business profile like our services. There's an opportunity now within Google Business Profile. It used to be, and again, in the other webinar, we'll talk a lot about this, but we used to have the opportunity to have a question and answer section on our Google Business Profile. And so when I used to optimize these profiles for real estate agents, I would spend a ton of time building 20 or 30 custom question and answers on your Google Business Profile, because when a visitor fell across your profile, they could read these proactive questions and answers and learn about your business. Well, Google took this part of the profile away in November. And now they were leaning into services. So now we have the opportunity to add our own services, custom services, or even the ones that they've built in as real estate agents. Anyway, doing all of these guys send stronger signals to Google. Therefore, it sends stronger signals to the AI search tools to let them know that we are great at what we do and where we do it. I just saw Bree on the call. Hi, Bree. I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you. So Google Business Profile no longer alone is not strong enough. We want to do this across every citation. So as we talk specifically about reviews, I previewed it a second ago. Fresh reviews are better than old reviews. If we just get a ton of reviews in one fell swoop and then we don't get them consistently, then Google tends to say, all right, this business is not thriving. This is a really, really important piece. So as an example, just simple 5-star reviews. I'll answer that question in a second from Tasha. Just simple 5-star reviews, they're like barely scratching the surface. That would be really, really good. But reviews with keywords and a lot of writing from our clients is going to be very, very important. So as an example, we have Christina is amazing. Clear communication throughout the process and care in every detail. I was nervous being out of state selling my property in Blue Springs, Missouri, but Christina McCord made it painless. Only use Christina if you want the best price, a smooth process, and a compassionate and detail-oriented realtor in the Kansas City area. Christina will take care of you. I mean, wouldn't we all like almost kill for those kinds of reviews? So that is really, really strong. It's much better than just a 5-star review with no words, because this client of Christina's is saying things like her name multiple times. So they're telling Google, hey, Christina is kind of a big deal here. They're mentioning two geographical areas. They mentioned Blue Springs, Missouri. They mentioned the Kansas City area. So it's also signaling to Google that, hey, this review mentions these geographical areas when Christina's Google business profile says she's in that geographical area. So it's creating this authority in real time with every single strong review that we get. This is AI gold. So whenever you're asking for reviews of your clients, you want to coach them, not what to say per se, but what types of things to say. You can obviously just coach them on saying, hey, if you leave us a 5-star review, please make sure to mention my specific quality of service, the specific services I offered, as well as the geographical locations, because this will help us tremendously as AI is pulling data from Google Business Profile. And so we want, again, these types of reviews across multiple platforms, because these other citations listed at the bottom of the page, Google and AI search tools are pulling all of this data from all of them. So again, we don't want to just focus on one, but if you did focus on one more than the other, Google reviews are king. It is the strongest by far. Question I saw from Tasha was, can we add videos to posts on Google Business Profile? Absolutely. Videos, just like every other social media platform, are stronger than photos. I will say Google kind of stymies the length and the size of the video. So shorts, kind of, that 30 to 60-second mark is kind of key. It definitely will not allow anything over 60 seconds. And to be honest, most of the time, if you post anything longer than 30 seconds, it will make you trim the video to 30 seconds or less. Hopefully that answers your question, Tasha. So again, as a reminder, guys, where does AI pull data from? We've seen the screen before. I'm circling website here because we previewed it in the very beginning. Your website does have significant weighted value on how Google Business Profile and how the AI search tools show your business. It's not just about your business profile. It's not just about your Facebook page. It's not just about your Zillow. Your website still has a lot of authority to it. So we're going to talk specifically about that. Um, I don't know how many people or what types of brokerages. I know for sure. I see Remax. I see EXP. I see maybe Reese Nichols on there. I see some other ones. So I'm going to speak specifically for those of us that work with Bold Trail as our CRM and as our website. So I'm sorry if you don't have Bold Trail, you don't have. I would still pay attention, because the things we're going to talk about still hold true no matter what platform your website is built on. But because Bold Trail is so prominent in the real estate industry, I'm going to talk about this one for just a little bit. And Holly, feel free to jump in at any time. And after this, I'm going to take a pause because I think I saw a few more questions come in that I want to
Mhm.
address. So,
Perfect.
speaking specifically about websites, this guy right in the middle, kind of like the ghost earlier, he's sitting behind the 8 ball. Okay. So he's a little behind, but he's not doomed. So we're going to talk about that. So Bold Trail websites, as we all know, we've all seen them. They are meant and built to look very, very good. I always call them they're sexy. They're sexy websites. They are meant to look professional, but they are not built in their core, in their code, in their schema. They're not built to rank on Google. Okay. They are designed to do three things really. Number one is satisfy brokers, because brokers, when they buy these platforms, they're buying them for multiple agents at a time, right? So they're buying them in bulk. So it's cheaper for them to go through the Bold Trail route. So they're meant to satisfy brokers. They are meant to check compliance. Those Bold Trail websites are the most compliant real estate websites you can find. So you're safe with them. And they are meant to show listings cleanly and pull from the MLS or wherever your local MLS is. That's what they are really meant to do. They are unfortunately not designed to establish local authority. And we know local authority is the most important because that's where Google Business and AI are pulling from. They're wanting to show local results. So they're not designed to show local authority. They are not designed to train Google or AI who the best agent is. And they are not designed to win search visibility just out of the box templated. So saying all of that, they all look the same. I want to give a little bit of background here. They all look the same. Google and AI can't really tell the difference between one Bold Trail site from another. They don't clearly say where you work. And what I mean by that is Everyone's Bold Trail site usually says your name, your office down at the bottom in the footer. Okay. And most people think that whatever is on the face of the website, whatever is client facing, is what Google sees. But it's not. Google sees the insides of all of our websites. So our website might be sexy, it might be pretty, it might have everything on the face, but what's in the schema, what's in the code? And so those Bold Trail sites don't have the geographic code built in on the backside. And they don't have, excuse me, the listings don't really sell you. They don't explain why you are the expert in your market. And so there's some ways that we can kind of trick this. I don't really need to harp on why Bold Trail doesn't work. They're not broken, to Holly's point. Okay. Bold Trail sites are great for these things that I just mentioned. It's just not working as great as it can. So, saying that, how can we improve them? Well, it's very, very easy to add content to your Bold Trail website. Like, honestly, let me back up. It's not easy. It is possible. It's very, very possible. All of us with Bold Trail, I'm sure you've been in there and you've tinkered with it. You probably saw the where it says website and IDX, and you're like, oh God, no way am I touching that button because I could really screw something up. And it's true. So I don't recommend everyone going in there and start messing with the code of your website unless you're very, very confident in doing that type of thing. That's why people like Holly are around because she's a Bold Trail expert. So it is very, very possible to add local content to your Bold Trail websites. You can add extra pages that are specific to specific neighborhoods within your market. Like, what better way to signal to Google and to other AI search tools where you do business than having individual pages on your website that say, hey, I do a ton of business and I've got all this information on Cape Coral, Florida on one page. And the next page is Fort Myers, Florida. And the next page is Bokeelia, Florida. That's signaling to Google and AI that I'm an expert in this whole geographical area. So adding local content is really important. Just a basic setup, honestly, fixing a lot of page titles, descriptions, and headings and footers on these Bold Trail sites is a nice, simple way to improve the site. You can make it faster so that it loads quickly on phones and computers. Again, local proof. Okay. I know I keep saying this, guys, but this is the most important. This is where everything is going with technology and within our industry. It all has to do with local proof. Keep your name, address, phone the same everywhere, and adding all kinds of local content and trust signals. Okay. Reviews, having reviews from your Google profile embedded on your website. Okay. Because again, it's communicating in real time with Google with all these AI search tools. So, some great ways to improve our Bold Trail websites. And to take it even a step further, again, we talk about this in the other webinar. So when we advertise that one, make sure you join that one too, guys, because we're getting in the weeds a little bit here. When we add content to websites or even to our social media platforms, I'm sure we all know the agents in our market that talk down to people in their posts. They try to sound super smart by having all this industry jargon. And what I'm going to tell you is AI search tools hate that. If it looks like there's a ton of industry jargon, or even if you're speaking in first person, we, Google and AI doesn't know how to register that. So some tips, we want to make things conversational. Okay. Optimize around who, what, when, where, how queries, not just homes for sale in Blue Springs, Missouri. We want to keep things conversational. This is a big one. And I've learned across all of my different SEO and AEO Facebook groups and everything that I'm a part of in the industry, seventh grade reading level is kind of the sweet spot. And so if you are using ChatGPT or Google Gemini to help write content for you, throw in this query. Help me write XYZ piece of content or this blog post for my Bold Trail website, and tell it to do it in a seventh grade reading level, and always, always, always third person. Because again, Google does not know you if you say I am a great real estate agent. I do business in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I do business in Blue Springs, Missouri. I do business in Atlanta. They don't know who I is. So we've got to speak in third person always when it's on your website, blog posts, it's your Google business profile, etc. Voice search readiness. We want to make sure we phrase pages as if Alexa or ChatGPT is reading them aloud. Looking for a home in Blue Springs? Question mark. Here's what you should know. Okay, that's conversational. That's something that you would actually find yourself saying to a person or to a client on the phone. Are you looking for a house in Blue Springs, Missouri? So we want to keep it conversational, seventh grade reading level, and third person always. Okay, I'm going to take a TV timeout. What questions do we have, Holly?
So, a couple of questions. And I love that you kind of went into this because there are a lot of ways with Bold Trail you can go really deep. And a lot of times you would just need to hire someone to do that, right? And we have a lot of great people that work on Bold Trail websites. I know a lot of folks that are way above me, and I'm happy to refer them. I can do a certain level. I know my lane. I know what I can help with. The good news is you can get a lot of what he's talking about done pretty easily now that we have ChatGPT. So don't feel like you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like there's a lot of easy tweaks that you can do with the Bold Trail websites, which makes me very excited, especially with the natural language search feature. Don't know when it's rolling out. Maybe I'll be surprised at R4, but the natural language search features that are coming to our websites and to the home view app, I've been waiting for a while for this. So hopefully we'll have that. And that's just going to bring a whole new layer of AI in. So I did just want to mention that. And then we did have a couple of good questions after the video. It said, should you always reply to your reviews? And does it matter if we mention the area with help? To help the client in, like mentioning, I guess, let's say,
Yeah.
should you always reply? So replying to your reviews and mentioning the area.
Yes. Again, in our next webinar, the one we do with 8 techniques, we talk a lot about reviews specifically. That's actually the biggest chunk of that webinar because it carries so much weight. But yes, when you're replying to reviews, number one, reply within 24 hours. Google loves that. If you don't reply within 24, 48 hours at the absolute max, Google again starts to think that you are not a living, breathing business. So replying to reviews quickly, utilizing keywords in your reviews to almost back up what I said earlier. When you're replying to reviews, you don't really need to do it in third person. I don't really have proof that that helps. So you can reply with, thank you so much, Heather, for your review. I loved serving you as your buyer's agent in Kansas City, Kansas. Next time you're ready to buy or sell in the greater Kansas City metro, please remember me. I'd love to give you 5-star service again. Right. So I just threw out there as an example the geographical areas. I said 5-star review. So I'm kind of tricking Google again, almost like it's a double 5-star review. So yes, replying like that. Was there another part of that question, Holly?
No, that one's fine on answering the thing. And I'm glad you clarified that third party on the
Yeah.
answering of reviews. So
Yeah.
thank you
Cause
for
that might just be a
that.
little weird. If
Yeah,
you're replying in third person and it's to a client that you've got a great relationship with, they might be like, why
right.
is Heather speaking to me in third person? She really got big for her britches.
Right. All
I'm not picking
right.
on you, Heather Holiday. I'm just throwing your name out there.
And then we have another question that came out. This is a good one. Actually, I've heard this come up quite a bit, actually, in speaking with you. Anyway, hypothetically, if one were to rename their current business, is a new Google business page required, and or is it possible to transfer reviews if a new page is required? So I think that's a great question.
Yeah, those are great questions. Number one, you can change your existing Google business profile name. Here's the caveat. When you change your business name on Google, uh, because there's been so much fraudulent behavior with Google Business Profile and people stealing profiles, which can happen, and creating fake profiles to get fake reviews, etc. Google has cracked down. I mean, I'm talking even in the last 2 or 3 months, they've become way more um, stringent on the business name. So odds are, if you change your business name on your Google profile today, what they're going to do is they're going to throw it into re-verification mode. And if anybody on this call has gone through the verification process in the last 12 months with Google, it is not easy. And for those of us that started a Google business profile years ago, it was pretty simple. You just had to wait a few days because you would apply for your business profile and then they'd mail you a postcard. And the postcard had a code. And you just had to go to the website, type in the code, and then you were set. Well, then in the last year or two, they've really drilled down to the verification video. Again, that even used to be simpler than what it is now. And now, for those of us on the call, not to bore anyone to death, but if you are doing, sorry, I'm reading the comment come in. If you are doing a verification, if you're just now starting your Google profile, or if you change your name, you're going to have to do a new verification video. And Christina just helped me with something last week. So I see her smiling. She knows all too well. Here's a tip. Okay. And Holly knows it too. You take your phone, you go to your Google Business app, you open it up, and you follow the prompts to do your verification video. Always start, you got to start outside at the nearest road or street intersection. So, like, literally get mere feet away from it, start your video recording and show the intersection, the two street signs, or if you've got a pan to show two street signs that show, First Street and Main Street, to show Google geographically, okay, I am physically where my business says I do business. Okay, so you're starting the video there, you turn around, you start walking towards your business location while the video is still going. If you have signage, make sure you get the signage. If it has street numbers on the building or on your house, make sure to show that. Now, here's the kicker. If your home office is your office and your address for Google, they're going to want to see some type of proof that you're doing business out of your home. So, as an example, for me, my address on Google is my home address. So I taped my business card and I put a sticker of my business near my doorbell. Okay, so that was like my signage. And so as I'm still with the same video I'm recording, I'm walking towards the door. I got street signs, I got the signage on my door. I then have to show that I have keys to get into the building or into my home. So I'm showing I have management access. I go in, I shut the door, I keep the video going. Again, this is all one continuous video. I go into my office. I have my website pulled up already on my desktop or on my laptop. I have my LLC paperwork. I've got my business license. I've got anything that proves that I am a manager or an owner of this business. And at that point, you can stop the recording and submit it. I say all that because most people don't go to that length. And then you're going to basically be forced to do another verification video. They're going to say, nope, that's not good enough. That's not good enough, Bree. You're going to have to do another verification video. So I'm just telling you, these are the tips and tricks that will make that verification video probably get approved on the first try. Holly knows all too well. We went through this with her, and I've gone through it with Christina. I've gone through it with a lot of people on this call. And so just make sure to follow those tips. So if you want to change your business name, you can. Just know you're going to have to do all of that afterwards. I hope that's helpful.
And I think one more question just popped up real quick. Uh, is there an issue with just using the brokerage address? I think a lot of folks do that, correct?
That's a great question. So, as an example, with Remax, right? If you've got a large brokerage, there might be 50 or 70 agents in your office, or 20 or 10, it doesn't matter. Everyone's using the same address. Totally fine. That's just the way that it is. Um, Google's going to show, multiple agents' profiles on Google Maps. So that does not stop anybody. It should not stop anybody from having the same address. All the more reason, though, to make sure that your Google business profile is stronger than all the other agents in your office. Because if someone is searching and they come across your particular office building on Google Maps, or they're just looking for a type of business, you want to make sure that your profile stands out more than the others and the competitors, so to speak. So it's okay if you have the same business address as others. Now, what can differentiate you is if you have an office, or you have an office number or a suite name. It's 1900 Northwest South Outer Road, Blue Springs, Missouri 64015, Suite 123. Make sure you add the specific to your door or your office. Any other questions, Holly?
Nope, that was it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep the questions coming, guys. These are really good. I'm gonna pull it up too. I thought I saw another one come in. Heather said doing third person was Google Academy's suggestion for me specifically. I compete with a same name uh, sword
Heather.
swallower. Is that real? That's real life? Wow. Okay. And her socials are
That's
like,
funny.
this is hilarious. Yeah. So these things never, oh my God, this is amazing.
You just
Um,
never know.
you
Oh,
never know.
that's funny.
So
I
yeah,
love
third
it.
person definitely is good. And honestly, like when you do this, when you go into the services part of your business, and you're adding 10, 20, 30 different services and then all these different service descriptions that are 300 characters, third person. Okay? Third person always, it's going to be really basically third person always unless it's on a review reply. Okay. So we've seen this Google Business Profile, very, very important to be strong and optimized. Reviews, very, very strong. Citations, strong. Website strength, strong. We know this. Everyone is an expert now. Here is the big takeaway that I want everyone to walk away with today. Okay. This is essentially your cheat sheet of how to be found on AI search tools moving forward. Okay. And I also, here's the caveat, and I should probably add this as a slide because sometimes people have a false sense of expectations. None of this is instant. Like none of this is going to happen overnight. None of this is going to happen next week. None of it. You could do all of these things, and even months from now, you may not see the results you think you should expect. Google is basically running like a years long background check on you. In the other webinar, I always say Google is always Googling you. And so when I say over here on the right hand side, keep it fresh, if we are not consistently doing these things, and I know it seems like we're asking the world, the Google is asking the world of us, but if we're not consistently doing these things, they truly think your business is dead. And I don't say that as like hyperbolic, but we've just got to always do these things. So to go over these, all right, we want to make sure that you claim as many citations as possible. These are just the big boys, so to speak. Again, there's about 2,000 that you can get that are not only industry specific, but just general database specific. As an example, how many people, show of hands, remember MapQuest back in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? Okay, MapQuest is one of the biggest, most important citations you can have in 2026. I bet most people on this call would have never thought of that and don't have MapQuest as a citation. But because they spent decades building a database of geographical locations, it's pretty valuable today in 2026 when all of these tools are leveraging geographic local search. So having MapQuest is a citation, right? So you can claim these big boys here. You can also, there's ways to do it in bulk when you work with like a marketing agency. So moving on to the next one, we want to get as many 5-star reviews as possible and often. Okay. And we want keywords, especially for the Google reviews, adding local and AI conversational language. We've talked a lot about that today, adding it to your website, adding it to your Google business profile. This is really, really important for the AI component more than anything. This fourth one, I don't talk about this a lot, but it is very important to understand, especially for those of us that don't mind spending money to market our business. Quarterly press releases. We're at a minimum an annual press release. So, I bet a lot of us have been on websites and maybe even some of our local competitors, and it says, as featured on Newsweek or Market, these Fox News or CNN. If you've seen that on a website before, that's because they paid to issue national press releases. So I actually had a phone call this morning from this company right here that I gave an example of, einpresswire.com. There's ways to do this. So basically, you pay a fee. You can pay a one-time fee, or you can buy a package and have multiple press releases throughout the year. And what they do is they basically take your press release, they'll write it for you, or you can give it to them, and they'll shoot it out to all these different high authority websites that, like the ones I just mentioned, CNN, Newsweek, Fox News, Marketplace, whatever it is. And they actually issue a press release saying that whatever your press release is. So if you've got something cool with your business, For instance, again, I'm just going to use her as an example. Christina McCord, she was voted the second place, like second most. Christina, can you turn your mic on? What's the verbiage? Maybe they're not allowed to do their mics on this call. So she
Oh.
got second place for like the best agent in Kansas City. That's what it was. And so that would be worthy of a national press release, right? And so her announcement would go across all these different national websites. It would then signal back to Google that she's got more ranking authority. So press releases are great. If you don't mind doing press yourself and being on other podcasts, guys, there's all kinds of cool websites where you can go and volunteer to be on other people's podcasts. There, as a person who's had a podcast and did it for a long time and is really successful with it, those hosts are dying to have other guests. It is really difficult to get content. And so when you've got really great, strong agents like everyone on this call, and if you don't mind having a camera and a microphone in front of your face, being on other people's podcasts are a great way to send more signals to the AI search tools as well as Google that you are who you are, you're great at what you do, and you do it where you say you do it. So this is a really valuable tool here.
I'm always looking for guests, so you can always reach out to me. I'm always looking for guests.
There
So
you go.
I'll plug that.
Uh,
You're right. You're
yeah,
absolutely right. It's not easy to find people. They're busy. Folks are busy, and you don't want to pull them away from their stuff. But I love having great conversations. So
for sure. Number 5 on this list, adding voice search friendly services to Google Business Profile. We talked a lot about that. On each service, you're able to add 300 character service descriptions. You can make these custom to your specific markets. There is no reason that any of us on this call should not add service descriptions for all the different markets that we serve. That's just sending more signals to Google that you're saying you do business in those areas. And if everything's based off Google Maps, let's just say we do more services in those map locations. So a very, very valuable tool here. Adding not only adding citations one time, but continuously adding citations every couple of months is going to be really, really important. And then lastly, guys, for local authority content, adding these things to your website, blogs, your Google business profile, things like moving to city guides for relocation, specific neighborhood breakdowns in your cities, relocation content, market explanations, every MLS is releasing market content for every market every month, right? So what a great way to just pull that free data, that graph, shoot a quick video, talk about what's going on in your local market, putting it on a blog on your website, putting on a video on your Google business profile, putting that graphic on your Google business profile. All kinds of opportunity here to send signals. Buyer and seller guides, these are great things. And especially if you live in an area like the Gulf Shores, Tasha, lifestyle content is a big thing. Like for me in South Florida and for Holly in Florida, lifestyle content is really big. People want to move where it's awesome, right? If you live in a private lake community, this is all about lifestyle content. So anything that really shows Google and these AI search tools that you are the best at what you do and where you do it. So we want to keep it fresh. We want to do these things consistently. I know this is a lot. So saying that, I think it's important for everyone to know that with our company, Locate, we don't just do webinars. We actually do all these things for our agents. And I partner with agents every single day all across the country. So we create Google business profiles for you. And the caveat is, guys, everyone on this call, if you were a marketer, you would own a marketing agency, but you're great at building relationships and selling houses. So, and getting repeat business from those people and getting referrals. So, if these types of things that I'm saying seem overwhelming and you're like, Bobby, there's no way in hell I'm going to do all these things because I'm focusing on building my real estate business. That's where we come into play. We help agents every single day. We help people create these Google business profiles. We help people optimize their existing profiles. That's the big one. That's one we do the most with is optimizing existing profiles. We help agents with reputation management, meaning creating review campaigns for you. And we send out custom review campaigns. So all of your database gets a very customized email that says their name and has your photo and your links. It's really, really beautiful. We help agents create all these citations that I mentioned across hundreds and thousands of websites. Google Business Profile weekly posting. Again, if you want to keep the fresh content, we help agents all the time. Holly and I, we know a lot about Bold Trail websites. She's the expert. She is truly the Bold Trail experts, right? Like the expert. Remax brings her in to coach agencies and brokerages all across the country. So lean on her for Bold Trail stuff. You can message me. I'll connect you with her if you don't have her content directly. But all of these are services that we do, right? We are the experts in this field. You need to be focusing on selling and building relationships. So if any of this is overwhelming, I'd love to help out. I've got a special offer today. If you want to scan this code, this will automatically send me a text message so that I can reply to you and we can start to have a conversation. But if I get this message and you can scan it right now, it'll probably ask you to allow after you scan it. Allow it, send me the text. It's going to have the auto message built in saying, "Hey, Bobby, I'm interested in talking more about what you offer and I want 50 bucks off." So it's already built in. I know exactly the offer to give you. But this is everything, guys. This is how to win with AI and search visibility in 2026 and beyond. This is all the stuff we've got to do. I'm always available to answer questions, but if you text me here, you're going to have my text line. I'll answer everybody. And honestly, I'll stick around and answer any more questions that we have. And that was pretty cool. We ended right on 1 hour. That's the first
We
time
just
that's ever happened.
That was great. Great content, great information. I really appreciate you sharing. This is stuff, like you said, you can go and do a lot of this stuff yourself. If you're overwhelmed and don't want to, you don't have to. You have options. And like he said, it's not within 24 hours or it's not worth it. You can just chew through some of this at your own pace. The big thing is to look at your profile, look at your business, think about the opportunities. Where do you need to make some improvements? And then chip away at it slowly. It's not eat the whole elephant. So I always tell people, go at your pace as long as it's progress, not perfection. Don't beat yourself up for it. I've been going down this road. I've been working with Bobby for a couple of months. I don't even have it perfect. I'm still trying to put together my stuff for campaigns, for reviews. I'm a little bit behind. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm still learning. It's been great to learn this new stuff. I love learning new things. So I really appreciate the opportunity to work with Bobby and to share what he's doing because I'm finding it very valuable. I was very late to the AI game. I was way late to the Google profile game, not going to lie. And so it's been a really fun journey for me as well. We are doing the 8 technique webinar, which will be held February 18th. That one is a registration and pay opportunity. I'll be posting that on my business page. If you want direct access sooner, you can email me for it. Otherwise, the announcement will go up. Space is limited. It will go up on my Holly Fogel the 1 Hour Coach business page as events. There'll be a registration link. That is $59. Each month, there'll be a $59 offering, but you will get lots of takeaways. You'll get the recording, so you'll get all kinds of goodies with all of the pay courses that I'm doing. And then you'll be able to have access to those. The one that I'm doing on the 5th, I'll be making the announcement on that. That'll be noon. That's going to be a free one, and that's going to be around more conversations and what I call my 1-1-20 pipeline, something that has been a game changer for agents that are leaning into a new pipeline metric. So I'm excited to bring that one on the 5th. Look for information about that forthcoming. And we will open it up really quick if you got to hop off. Thank you for attending, and we'll see if there's any other questions.
I
What would
see
you
a question
recommend
from
for?
my old friend Bree here.
Okay, go ahead.
So Bree said, "What would you recommend for photo content on Google Business Profile?" I'm going to dig into this a lot also on the 8 technique webinar. Um, Notice I've pretty much built out all these questions that everyone had today. Like these are the questions that everyone asks. Um, any photo that you would post on any other social media platform, and it doesn't necessarily have to be business. Um, Google humans, Google AI, I think we all understand that we like to work with businesses that are humanized, right? We don't like to work with, like, if you stumble upon a business page on Facebook and it's just like auto posting from some third party. Look, we've all done it and we all know the agents that do it, but that doesn't look like a human business. That looks like a business that's on autopilot and doesn't care about customers and clients. So on your Google business profile, if you've got pictures with your kids that you post, or you run around showing houses, you got pictures in your office with your team, a team meeting, a pop by, a giveaway, anything, a closing, post all that stuff on your Google business profile. Put pictures of you and your dog. Like, you go to a concert, post a picture. Like, because if a customer comes across your profile, don't you want to seem human? Don't you want to seem likable? Right? If you're just buttoned up all the time, and it's nothing but professional, like, I just, in my opinion, people are turned off by that sometimes, unless you're in a very, very specific, luxury only market and you've got to abide by a certain look. You know your market better than anybody else. But I think for the most part, the more we can humanize our business and show that we are family people, that we are relatable, and that we are alive and well and breathing and our business is doing great, and that's the kind of stuff we want to post.
Love it.
Okay.
Well, thank
Awesome.
you very much, everybody. If there's nothing else, we will tune out. And I certainly appreciate you all tapping in today. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.